Stop striving to force the world to conform to your desires. Instead, learn to embrace reality as it is. Accept things as they happen, and your life will follow a natural path toward fulfillment. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, it's never enough? That the world is quick to label you a failure, and your efforts just don't seem to measure up? Today, let's explore a life-changing perspective, a shift in how we view failure and the idea of being a loser. In today's world, the race for more money, more recognition, more success can leave us feeling like we're always falling behind. It's a constant chase, and the harder we try, the more distant the finish line becomes. But what if success wasn't defined by these external markers? What if being labeled a loser isn't the curse we've been taught to fear, but actually the key to discovering real happiness? Let's turn to the Stoics, ancient philosophers who redefined the concept of success. Figures like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca didn't measure success by wealth, status, or fame. Instead, they understood that true success lies within. For them, the key was cultivating inner virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Epictetus, for example, taught that while we can't control the events that happen to us, we have full control over how we respond. True freedom and peace of mind come not from changing the world, but from changing how we approach it. In this philosophy, the richest person isn't the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least. It's a radical shift in how we measure wealth, success, and contentment. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor with unimaginable wealth and power, found true value not in luxury but in simplicity and virtue. His teachings emphasized mastering oneself and living with integrity, being in harmony with nature and one's deeper purpose. Similarly, Seneca emphasized that happiness rooted in virtue remains untouched by the ever-changing winds of fortune. But Stoicism isn't the only school of thought that challenges conventional ideas of success. Philosophers like Aristotle and Socrates also argued that flourishing comes from living virtuously and cultivating self-awareness. Modern thinkers like Carl Jung have emphasized self-realization as the highest form of personal fulfillment, a concept that aligns with Stoic principles of authenticity and inner peace. Now let's address the fear that haunts so many of us, the fear of being labeled a loser. Why does this label hold such power? Because our society has constructed specific, external benchmarks for success. A high-paying job, a luxurious lifestyle, social recognition. When we fail to meet these expectations, we're often quick to internalize the label of failure. But Stoicism offers a radical alternative. It teaches that external validation doesn't define us. What truly matters is our internal state, our response to the world, our resilience in adversity, and our ability to maintain inner peace despite the challenges we face. The fear of being seen as a failure is driven by our desire for approval. We exhaust ourselves chasing a success defined by others, when true happiness comes from self-acceptance. This doesn't mean we shouldn't pursue goals or work hard. It's about doing so with detachment from the outcome. Stoicism encourages us to do our best while understanding that the ultimate result is not entirely in our control. There's something incredibly liberating in realizing that your worth doesn't depend on external measures. By embracing this Stoic mindset, we can let go of the fear of being a loser and instead focus on what really matters, living a life of authenticity, inner peace, and fulfillment. Our true worth isn't defined by external accolades or societal standards. By shedding the fear of failure and rejecting the label of loser, we free ourselves to live more authentically. We can pursue what truly matters to us without the weight of judgment from others or the pressure to conform. This shift allows us to rediscover what success really means, and it's not what the world often tells us it is. Everywhere we look, from the billboards on the highways to the curated images on our social media feeds, society bombards us with a narrow definition of success. But who gets to decide what success should look like? Why should someone else's standard dictate how we feel about our own lives and accomplishments? The term loser is often thrown around as an insult, usually based on superficial and arbitrary benchmarks. But here's a radical idea. What if we challenge the status quo? What if we redefine success on our own terms, embracing a broader, more inclusive definition? Take, for example, the owner of a small cafe. It may not be a booming business with millions of customers, but it's a place of warmth, passion, and community. The regulars don't come just for the coffee, they come for the connection and the love that permeates the space. Isn't that a form of success? Or think about someone working quietly in the tech industry, developing solutions that could change the world for the better. Their work may not make headlines, but it could have a lasting impact on society. Success, in this sense, is not about fame or fortune. It's about purpose and contribution, however humble it may seem. True success, when you think about it, is deeply personal. It's about finding fulfillment and meaning in what we do. Whether we're raising a family, honing a craft, or contributing to our community, success lies in the joy we derive from these activities. It's about celebrating the small victories along the way and finding satisfaction in our daily lives. The wisdom of thinkers like Aristotle supports this view. He spoke of eudaimonia, which translates to flourishing or fulfilling one's potential. Aristotle believed that true success is living a virtuous life, one that aligns with our values and helps us become the best versions of ourselves. Modern psychology echoes this sentiment. Research consistently shows that happiness and fulfillment come from engaging in activities that align with our values, not from external markers of success, like wealth or social status. So why not redefine success for ourselves? Why not measure our achievements not by society's standards, but by what truly brings us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose? Whether it's growing a garden, writing poetry, teaching children, or anything else that lights up our soul, that's where our true success lies. Let's start celebrating these diverse, deeply personal forms of success and honoring those who may not fit the traditional mold, but are living lives full of meaning. By broadening our perspective, we can create a world that is more compassionate, understanding, and fulfilling for all. In a world that often equates success with material gain or public recognition, we have the opportunity to redefine what truly matters. We can all be successful in our own way. The illusion of external pursuits, Stoicism, teaches us the dangers of basing our happiness on external pursuits, things that are inherently beyond our control. Imagine tying all your hopes for happiness to something as fickle as financial success or public approval. It's like building your house on sand, isn't it? The Stoics, like Epictetus, were clear about this. He warned us against chasing after external goods, explaining that these pursuits often leave us feeling vulnerable and unfulfilled. Why? Because they can be taken away from us in an instant. But there's something no one can take away from us: our character, our virtues, our inner resilience, and our ability to live according to our values. Epictetus advocated for focusing on inner virtues like contentment and self-restraint, and he believed that true happiness doesn't come from what we have, but from how we live. It's about finding peace within ourselves, no matter what's happening outside. Think about it. How often do we see people who seem to have everything, wealth, fame, material possessions, and yet they are still unhappy? On the other hand, there are those who, despite facing adversity and having very little, radiate joy and contentment. What's their secret? They've discovered that happiness comes from within, from living according to their values and focusing on what they can control. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that external events are indifferent. It's our judgments about them that cause suffering. He urged us to focus on our inner selves, cultivating virtues like patience, integrity, and compassion. Similarly, Seneca emphasized that true peace of mind comes from within, from our ability to live in harmony with nature and reason. Embracing loserdom for freedom in today's world, success is often measured by material possessions or social status. Stoicism provides a refreshing counterpoint, encouraging us to question the promises of happiness that come with these external pursuits. Instead, it reminds us to reflect on what truly matters in life. What are we really chasing? And at what cost? If we let go of the race for external achievements, society might label us a loser. But what if being labeled a loser is exactly what frees us? What if stepping off the treadmill of seeking external validation allows us to find peace and authenticity instead? Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca were not just theorists. They were practical life navigators who found true freedom in redefining success. When we stop seeking approval based on wealth, status, or social standing, we may be called a loser. But in doing so, we gain the opportunity to live life on our own terms. We can align our lives with our values, cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, and focus on what we can control: our character and our choices. By adopting this mindset, we redefine success not by external standards, but by the inner strength we cultivate. When you embrace the freedom of defining success for yourself, you realize that your true worth isn't found in society's judgment. It's found in the quality of your thoughts, actions, and inner peace. True success is something far more profound than what society often defines it to be. Think about the great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who, despite his extraordinary wealth and immense power as an emperor, placed his focus on simplicity and inner peace. He understood that external achievements are fleeting, here one moment, gone the next. What truly remains, however, is your sense of self, your resilience, and your inner tranquility. Then there's Seneca, who warned against the dangers of chasing after fleeting rewards, emphasizing the futility of sacrificing our serenity for unstable, external validations. He advocated for a life of moderation, prioritizing the enrichment of the soul over material wealth. His words still resonate today. True fulfillment lies not in what we gain, but in who we become. Now, imagine how different the world would be if we, too, started valuing inner peace over external success. What kind of society would we create? One less consumed by anxiety and stress, more connected to what truly matters. A society where success isn't measured by the things we own or the titles we hold, but by the peace we cultivate within ourselves. Embracing loserdom, in the Stoic sense, isn't about giving up ambition or stopping the pursuit of goals. It's about redefining ambition on your own terms. Ask yourself, am I chasing this because I truly value it, or because I'm afraid of how others will perceive me if I don't? By stepping away from society's expectations, you're not abandoning ambition. You're liberating yourself to pursue a life aligned with your deepest values. When you let go of external pressures, you create space to live authentically. You focus on the richness of your experiences, the depth of your relationships, and the tranquility of your inner world. Stoicism teaches us that our true worth is not determined by superficial markers like job titles, bank accounts, or social media status. Instead, our value comes from something far more enduring: our character, our virtues, and the way we respond to life's challenges. Take Epictetus as an example. Born into slavery and facing unimaginable hardship, he became one of the most respected philosophers of his time, not because of external wealth or status, but because he understood that our true value comes from within. His integrity, kindness, and adherence to his principles were his most cherished possessions. Even Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, constantly reminded himself to be humble, to reflect on his actions, and to prioritize ethics over power. His meditations were not about accumulating more wealth or influence. They were reflections on living a virtuous and meaningful life. Seneca, too, despite his wealth and social standing, emphasized simplicity, inner peace, and moral integrity. He recognized that life's truest treasures are not found in material things, but in wisdom, tranquility, and a virtuous mind. Now, imagine living a life that's authentic to you, where your daily moments are filled with things that resonate with your core values. It might not look like success to the outside world. Perhaps you find joy in quiet mornings, reading thought-provoking books, or engaging in conversations that nourish your soul. According to Stoicism, this is where true value lies, not in accolades or material achievements, but in your ability to live with purpose, cultivate inner strength, and respond to life's trials with grace and resilience. If ever you feel like you're not measuring up to society's standards of success, remember, your worth is not dependent on external approval or material gain. It is about how you live, how you treat others, and how you engage with the world. Embracing this Stoic mindset doesn't mean rejecting external success. It means understanding that your happiness and sense of self-worth aren't based on it. You can enjoy success, yes, but your inner peace doesn't rely on it. Now consider the freedom this perspective offers. The fear of failure, the anxiety of judgment, and the toxic comparison with others become irrelevant. You're free to pursue your passions, to embrace your unique quirks, and to live authentically, because you know that your value lies in who you are, not what you achieve. This mindset also shifts how we view challenges. Instead of seeing setbacks as disasters, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth, chances to practice our virtues and strengthen our character. This is what the Stoics meant when they spoke of using obstacles as fuel for our inner fire. Whether you're basking in success or facing criticism, remember that these external circumstances don't define you. Your true victory lies in maintaining your inner tranquility, in nurturing your resilience, and in living in alignment with your deepest values. The most profound victories are those won in the quiet chambers of your own heart. So, as you navigate the path ahead, honor your values and let your inner tranquility be your greatest triumph. Life's true riches aren't measured by what the world applauds, but by the peace, strength, and authenticity you cultivate within yourself. By embracing Stoicism, you're not just rejecting superficial measures of success, you're affirming something deeper and more enduring about yourself. You're choosing to define your worth by your character, your actions, and the life you choose to live.